We're live. This is the Martin Fowler Scrum and Power Hookup. It's Thursday, June 21st. I'm Matt, Miriam, and Sam are with us as well. And yeah, um, let's see. We had, I don't know, I thought it was a really good Hundfunk mit Bashman meeting yesterday where it was really informative. Robert walked us through the latest feature. Long-standing PRs, and yeah, then we ended up finding something to refactor while we were talking using aliases in Ember, and that was cool. We got that pushed up, and I'm gonna get that remerged today, and today I'm going to pair with Miriam and Faith on that as well, as we're going to write, I think, more cucumber tests, I believe. If we haven't finished that, I think we still have some to write, and then start implementing frequently asked questions page for that. And I want to work on Championer 1 today as well, so I'm going to have a look. And yeah, it would be nice to try to get started on website 1. I got that set up yesterday in the meeting, and ran all the tests, and it's quite impressive. I was kind of proud of myself that I had 90 tests written for a personal project, and then I saw that website 1 has 666 RSpec passing, so that was quite impressive. And also it took a little while to run all the cucumber tests, like you said, but I was able to get that all run. And there was only, I think, one failure, which you had mentioned. There was intermittent failures. And so I thought out of I think it was 2,000 something steps, there was only one of them that was causing a problem. And blockers, not that I can think of, although I can get back to you if I come up with any. And what about you, Mir?
I was doing a tutorial on Vue.js because I will have to connect the back end of the application that I'm working on now to a Vue.js front end. So I can just try to learn about Vue.js. I have also tried to just figure out what I can do for the problem that I have for WordPress. So yeah, that's my part.
Yeah, I saw that. I don't have any experience with WordPress. I know Sam's mentioned it a couple times that it's a good solution for a lot of things, but I haven't got around to it yet. I'm not sure why, but cool.
Yeah.
And what about you, Sam?
Yeah. What's going on? I guess we managed to overcome one block this morning, which was Alex not having SSH access to the Jitsi box. Turns out we've got like an explicit allow users thing in our SSH config. So when I added him there, then it works. So I've added that to the DevOps docs. I'm doing little bits of admin we've got the conference on Tuesday. There's still lots to do. I'm behind. We had the local support meeting. That was only me, which is a shame. But I did see Brent's new thing that's tracking the click-throughs is working in Google Analytics. So that's lovely to see. And it means that we can, we basically outsource the storing of the data of people who are clicking through in the local support on our volunteer opportunities to Google. They will store it, give us a nice interface to look at it. Which is much nicer than the one, we hadn't really even built an interface. And so now we can, in principle, turn off all the storage of click-throughs in our database and drop that table, and we will not be bursting the seams on the databases anymore. So that's a great step forward. So it's going well. And then, so actually, I've done a form for the data confidentiality agreement for Agile Ventures, which I think is something that we need kind of going forward. I think everybody basically understands that that they should treat any personal data that they encounter as a result of volunteering with Agile Ventures as confidential. But I think that with the new GDPR, we kind of need to like get an explicit acknowledgement from everybody who's volunteering that's not that it's not just unwritten, kind of implicit that we should treat people's data carefully. But so I put that in place, and so they got a few things done. I cancelled the deep learning mob so I can kind of get through all of my other admin stuff. I'm pairing with Mike. Mike is here. Hey, Mike. Pairing with Mike later on the topic of his choice. And what have we? It's Thursday. Yeah, Quebec Scrum. That's about the size of it.
Cool. Thank you. And what about you, Mike?
Hi guys. I don't have much. I'm just expecting my session with Sam, and maybe it will jumpstart me into these open source things. Yeah, nice. Open source contribution. Yeah.
Awesome. So, no blockers at the moment?
No. Mostly I do Python stuff, and there's a book that I'm reading and trying to implement things from it. I already shared the book earlier on, Obey the Testing Goat. So I'm still going through that. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. So I think that's our Scrum. We're in the after Scrum.
Yeah.
Anything else? Yeah, the testing goat, not the testing god.
Not the testing gods. Don't talk about the testing gods, but the testing goat. He's the one that needs to be. Only other thing I was going to mention was I was excited yesterday because I was hearing that Firefox like supports like Hangouts and Meets and so on. I'm hearing like the kind of the Google Chrome on Apple computers with Hangouts causes a problem for quite a lot of people, and maybe not just me. But so I was trying to use Firefox today to join the Hangouts, but then I think you can run a Hangout in Firefox, but you can't, like the ones that we're starting from YouTube Live, which are the old Google Hangouts on Air. We can't run in Firefox. It just redirects me to a like help page. So if we're really lucky, hopefully the stuff that Alex is working on, we can unleash the power of Jitsi, and maybe Jitsi's. I feel like they don't drive Chrome on OS X quite so crazy, but there we go.
That actually reminded me. I do have a little bit of a blocker that was to do with Paranauts. That it was so it's I was able to get the tests to run by configuring Circle CI, but for some reason it's not starting the Chrome driver, or it seems like it's not. That the tests are all running, and 3 of them are failing, and they're the same 3 that are failing when you ran. Sam, to start when you had forgotten to start Phantom.js. So yeah, the error to do with like, is your WebDriver started? And it's like I went to my Circle CI and it's like should be, So then I changed it around a little bit where I like extracted that logic out into its own run block, and then like with a name like start, and then with a command. Sure. And then tried to do that separately, and that didn't help. And then I had that idea that maybe it was to do with like that dependencies being deprecated and not permitted any longer. And so I tried to extract that out into the same run block as the installing the Chrome driver, and that didn't work either. And then we kind of came up against the other meeting, and the rest of the day I didn't have time to
I'm just looking at it here. Right. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, well, no, well done for getting it that far. It's obviously the stuff in the config there is getting it to the point where like these are all completing.
Mm-hmm.
But as you say, it's like not actually starting the Chrome driver. Yeah, so I guess the thing I would be it's interesting, like this would be the thing here, like I know that run there, Google Chrome stable, is that what would be starting the Chrome driver?
No, it's below that no hub.
No hub Chrome driver at and there.
Yeah.
Mm.
So I don't know if it's maybe I don't know. It could be something to do with that no hop, like maybe that's something that doesn't exist in Circle CI and just exists in Travis. That was like if I remember, Federico was saying so it would start with. I thought it was to start without a browser, but I don't know. I could be wrong. I'd have to go look back and look at his commitments.
Yeah.
Or I was gonna throw it.
Yeah, no, I mean no hub is a POSIX command to ignore the hang up signal. So that, but you know, might be needed, might not be needed. Yeah, I mean, almost the thing that I would be tempted to do here is open, like if we were in Travis and we were stuck, I would be opening a ticket with the Travis people. This is the kind of thing we might try and ping the Circle CI people about, just to often, if I get to a point where I've like, okay, I haven't got much time to look at this now, is then just say, hey guys, we've got to this point, seems like Chrome driver is not running, do you have any idea? And ping that off to them. And then by the time that, you know, 2 or 3 days later that I come back to look at the task again, you know, we might have some feedback from them. But I've never pinged Circle CI. I mean, they've got like a support button here from their support center. Travis has been, you know, has always been great. I find not using their support system, but on GitHub, if you, and so you've got like the ticketed support is only available for customers on paid plans. Please go to our community forum. So I mean, another solution, given that it works on Travis, is to say, well, you know, we should just sort of set up a Travis thing. But it looks like there is a forum.
What went into thinking to use Circle CI instead of Travis, or like
just to try something different? You know, like maybe it would be kind of like a what's the word? Like, I mean, there's other ones that we've used. It's sort of Travis has sort of gone up and down in terms of, you know, how on top of things sometimes it causes problems. So yeah, it wasn't like that there was like, oh, there's some wonderful thing that is Circle CI that we should really try out. It was more just, oh, you know, let's have a go. I mean, they have sort of like their interface is okay. I haven't seen anything from it to make me say like, oh, I would really want to use Circle CI over Semaphore or Travis on another project going forward. So it'd be perfectly valid just to say, okay, you know, why burn time trying to get it to work on Circle CI when we have an example of it working on Travis?
It seems like maybe this is a faulty assumption, but most of the Circle CI YAML configuration files that I saw are all using Docker images. So I don't know if that's some feature that Circle CI is necessary to running Circle CI, or it's something I'm not really sure. But I found it hard to find any that didn't use Docker images.
No, well, and then it's an interesting model. I mean, it seems like a good, like superficially, a good way to go, because then the images are kind of like you can go and look them up and see exactly what they're doing. So it seems like a you know, like a sensible move. I haven't seen mention of Docker files in Semaphore or Travis, but maybe, I mean, I imagine that they're all using Docker behind the scenes. But
I found I was able to find a configuration that was like 2 months old that someone had put there that was like to start Chrome driver. But then looking at the logic, like what they were actually doing, it seemed like they were just installing Chrome. Like I didn't see any mention of Chrome driver.
Yeah.
It didn't seem like they were starting. So I don't know. I didn't like change the how we were installing Chrome driver because of that. But I don't know. I suppose I could try that as well.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just finding this here. I mean, is that like someone's mentioning this post operation that tries to start Chrome driver in the background?
Mm-hmm.
You know, who knows? But that may be, I mean, this is just a person here saying like, oh, they wanted to use Chrome driver with Chrome driver 23. But it's interesting, like, and then someone else here, it's interesting, they're all using this like machine post, but then this is a couple of years old. Yeah. Anyway.
Okay. What do those Chrome driver do? Does it open a Chrome web browser?
I think the browser is already open. The Chrome driver basically it provides an endpoint that the tests can talk to, and sort of remote drive Chrome and have things happen in the Chrome thing that's working. So we can see in the run operation. I mean, I see that should run it in the background. I mean, it's interesting. We've got that like pipe symbol there. I don't know what that does, but
yeah, so the runs as well. It's like, I think when you're doing a multi-line,
okay, like multi-line thing. Interesting. And then
multi-line. I could just put that on the thing.
And then it can't fucking check WebDriver. But the interesting thing here that says WebDriver. Go on.
Is that I think that we need a WebDriver like Chrome driver or Selenium or something like this, because we're doing some JavaScript.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's totally why we need it. I was just thinking like in other things, like for example, in the Rails setup, if I want to move from my Capybara from like Selenium to Phantom.js, I need to actually specify that change. I mean, the other thing I was wondering is, do we need to, in the configuration, say that we're using Chrome driver?
I did that already, actually, because that was my
fault. So that's already in there.
And then I ran the test, and it was
there we go.
Locally.
Okay. Yeah, I noticed that Chrome driver is the Chrome _ driver, and that's Chrome driver. I guess that's like not relevant.
Yeah, but, for Found, it needs to be like that. Apparently, I'm not sure why.
Okay, so yeah, and you ran it all locally. You sort of ran this command locally to run Chrome driver, and you ran it all locally, and it all passed completely green.
Actually, well, I did start it in the background, but then I stopped it, and before I ran the test, I just started like I normally just start it with just the command Chrome driver.
Right.
I haven't. Yeah, I mean, this command, but.
Yeah, I mean, like it's the kind of thing. It's funny because I could almost I think even using this editing system here, I could just go in and remove the ampersand and see if that made a difference.
Yeah,
like that. And who knows? But yeah, we should probably wrap up there. I mean, I guess Mike, you don't have any preference for what we work on when we pair later today? You're up for any open source project?
No, I haven't picked one yet. But I'm okay doing something JavaScript or I think maybe I can try plan myself out before we meet. So
yeah. Well, I mean, there's all stuff to work on, different projects. Yeah, I mean, have you looked at any of the open source projects yet?
In Agile Ventures.
Yeah, like local support or Met Plus or Website One or Phoenix One, or did you look at any? You don't have to have done. I'm just interested. If you saw one already that you'd started looking at the code, that would be a good one. Somewhere you feel comfortable about.
I think there's these. I think was it the one for is it library stuff or something? Okay, let me just get the right one. Then let me just get it. Then I'll share.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. Well, we can chat in Slack as well. And no need to hold up the after Scrum too long. Yeah. But yeah. So I was going to say to Matt then. But yeah. So the funny thing with these things is like you can keep kind of fiddling with it for ages, and it's as long as I think it's fun. That can be fun. I often spend most of my life fiddling with different like little twiddling the knobs on the things. But I think I don't know. I really like, if I can, writing up the problem and submitting it somewhere and leaving that to kind of like stew on the back burner. But because sometimes you know, it's a way of like paralyzing all the problems in your brain. Is to like put them out on the thing. Of course, for some people, I get the feeling some people really hate writing up a description of the problem. Do you know what I mean? Like actually posting to Stack Overflow or opening a GitHub issue. I think a lot of people have like a real resist. They feel embarrassed about doing it, or it's just a pain to coordinate their thoughts to type in the stuff. Or do you know what I mean?
For me, it's more like I haven't even signed up to Stack Overflow because I think like I haven't gone there and using it quite a lot to debug things. I think like sometimes you see someone ask a question and then people can be really brutal, you know, with like their answers, like, you know, you're an idiot. Why would you ask that? And it's like, oh, you know, so I try to exhaust like everything that's available to me with, you know, before doing that. But sometimes I've found like recently, like I think I've gotten a little spoiled working with Ruby on Rails, and like the amount of information that's out there for the problems that I've faced so far is just exhaustive, you know. Whereas like some other things like Elixir or you know, dealing with account testing and different stuff like this, there's just less information out there, you know.
Yes.
And so yeah, you either and that's maybe a reason why I need to make a list of some of the biggest headaches I've come across and try to get tutorials written for other people or something, you know, to help out, like give back, because it really helps when you're new.
Yeah, or even just asking the questions. I mean, you're right about Stack Overflow. You do get, as part of the premium membership, you get support on Stack Overflow that basically we will come and virtually slap around anybody who gives you a hard time on Stack Overflow. So you have protection there. You're not alone there. Anybody gives you a hard time, I will give them a very hard time back. I've got an incredibly thick skin on that. I'm like almost, I could care less what other people say in requests to this and the other. For me, I'm like, it's so much more important for me to save time than it is to care about what other people say, specifically on Stack Overflow. Obviously, I care what other people in Node Adventures think about, and I care what people on GitHub think about to a degree. But like, I mean, it's frustrating that there are people who are busy like trolling on Stack Overflow like that, and part of our mission is to try and make, you know, it a safer place. I think there are also lots of very helpful people on Stack Overflow, but even more than Stack Overflow, I think if you can find, I mean, Stack Overflow is kind of like open warfare in some ways, whereas on GitHub, or if you've got like, you know, like Circle CI or Travis, or if you've got people providing a service like Heroku, then often opening a ticket with them, you know, about that thing, you're unlikely to have someone from Circle CI say, no, that's really stupid, and perhaps more likely to get helpful support. But I'm always trying to paralyze my brain. Anyway, yeah, we should probably wrap up.
And it's bagel time, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yes, absolutely. It's a bagel time, and it's sunny, so I might sit in the garden to eat it. Mike, Mike, did you find the thing the one that you looked at already?
Not yet. Let me just send it on Slack.
Okay, yeah, we'll chat on Slack. That's great. All right. I'll see you all.
Vitamin D.
Okay.
See you guys soon. Thank you. Miriam, I'll talk.
Thanks, Matt.